Good morning, everyone. My name is Luis Amado. I am in Amigo de Seattle Radio. And this morning, and I have invitation, very special lady today, Ana. Welcome to Amigo de Seattle Radio. How are you today?
I'm very good. And thanks for letting me come on your program today.
I am in Seattle, Washington. Hello for everybody in different countries. Maybe you watching this morning or tonight. I am in Amigo de Seattle YouTube and Facebook Live, X, and Twitch. And this morning, I will like talking about the Puget Sound. But Ana, are you welcome to Amigo de Seattle Radio, Amigo de Seattle Nonprofit? Tell me a little bit, who is Ana?
Good question. I ask that question all the time. My name is Anna Bachmann, and I'm here representing Puget Soundkeeper Alliance, a nonprofit group. I am the director of clean water programs at Puget Soundkeeper. We're a local environmental group that's been around this is our 41st year in the Seattle area.
Thank you, Anna. Tell me, please, about the mission about your organization.
Puget Soundkeeper Alliance was founded to be an organization that focuses on clean water in Puget Sound. We are basically focused on making sure that Puget Sound is healthy for swimming and recreation, that the waters of our rivers are clean, that we have orcas and salmon, and we can enjoy the environment of Puget Sound. We're actually part of a larger network of organizations called the Waterkeeper Alliance. The Waterkeeper Alliance actually started in the Hudson River Valley in the East Coast, and as a group of fishermen who were just trying to fish in a river that was filled with fish, and seeing their livelihoods just disappear. So they banded together, they got some lawyers, and they started suing some of the worst polluters that were hurting the river, the Hudson River. And based on that model, they hired someone to patrol the river to actually watch and look for pollution. And so we as the kind of Waterkeeper Alliance formed this model of citizens basically taking action to protect their local environment, their local waterways. And so Puget Soundkeeper was one of the first 7 organizations to kind of create this large umbrella of organizations called the Waterkeeper Alliance. And it's made up of basically water quality advocates all across the globe. There's over 300 now. In fact, I was involved in starting the first one in the Middle East, Iraq. So now I'm back here in the US, and I joined Puget Soundkeeper a number of years ago, and we work on making sure sound is our mission.
Thank you, Anna, for very nice information. And another question for you is, what activities will you have in your organization?
We have a lot going on. So I'm in the Clean Water Program, which is the program of that focuses on stewardship activities. We do community science projects with the community, looking at salmon health, microplastics, anything related to water quality. And we do a lot of education and outreach. And so we also have another arm of our organization that is our law and policy program. And that program will actually advocate for new policies, new laws that protect the Puget Sound and human health in Puget Sound more. It will also, we also do still sue polluters. So we are using a hotline. People can call in to let us know if they see pollution. And we will pursue cases, and we have never actually lost any cases. So we're pretty active and working as an advocate for Puget Sound.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. And also tell me about what project you have right now in your organization.
Yeah, so in the Duwamish Valley, a number of years ago, I took some kids down the river actually in the Tequila area on kayaks. We wanted to see this upper part of sort of the lower green upper part of the Duwamish. The green Duwamish, we call it the green Duwamish River. It's the river that flows into Seattle. It's one river. And it just, in the city of Tequila, there's used to be a river there called the Black River. The Black River would flow in, and at that point, the Green River would change its name to the Duwamish.
This is my question.
Yeah.
The Duwamish River have the connection with the Green River?
Yeah, it is the same river. It's
yeah.
exactly the same river. But there used to be a large tribal community. The Duwamish tribe had a big village at the confluence of the Black River and the Green. And so that area started being called, the river there is called the Duwamish. And so I was taking some kids down this part of the river, and it's really hard to get on the river. We actually had to lower kayaks by ropes down the bank because there's no access to the river. There's these high embankments filled with blackberry. It's really challenging. I have since learned that there are better ways to do it, but we went down the river that day, and we were all astonished at the amount of trash and debris and it's stuff that's large. It's like, it was big construction waste. It was appliances, tires piled on the sides of the bank of the river. And I was just shocked by it.
What is more contaminated, Duwamish River and Georgetown South Park, or the Green River?
So the Duwamish River, especially the lower part of the Duwamish River, which is navigable by large boats, that's a super fun site. That's a very, basically a toxic cleanup site. We essentially sacrificed that river to win the Second World War. And we had all these factories, and they were just dumping whatever. So right now, it's the water from the Green River is actually not so bad. Green River up above Tequila is in better shape, but the sediment is filled with toxic material. And so it's been for many years now a toxic cleanup site, and there's an active cleanup program going on. But we were looking at debris. And so we started a project called the Salmon and Legacy Debris Project at Soundkeeper. At the same time that this was happening, we found out that there was something we'd known for many years, which was that salmon that come back to our urban waterways are actually dying before they have a chance to spawn. They look healthy, totally fine when they come in. They've survived several years out in the open ocean. They find their way back past the orcas and the seals, and they get back to their home stream, and within hours they die.
Wow.
And we didn't know what it was. It's been going on for decades. My organization has a separate project where we survey a creek in West Seattle for this issue, just figuring out why are fish dying. In one creek that we look at, Longfellow Creek in West Seattle, we can have up to 90% of the fish die in this way. And they don't just die in a simple way. They come in and they flop over on their sides. They lose equilibrium. They can't stay upright. They gape at the mouth, and they're dead within hours. And this is happening to most of the fish.
Yeah.
So they knew something was wrong. And right around the time that I did this trip down the river and I saw all this debris in the river, we learned that the reason why the fish were dying was because there was a chemical in the water. It was in the storm water that came off our streets.
What is the chemical more contaminated?
The chemical that was contaminating there's lots of chemicals that contaminate our water, lots.
Yeah.
But there's one that has been found to be incredibly toxic to aquatic animals. And it's called 6-ppd quinone. And that great name, all these chemical names, 6-ppd, PCBs, whatever.
I know.
They're just, what are they? It's a very complex chemical, and nobody makes it. Nobody makes that chemical. But we do make a chemical called 6-ppd. And we use it in tires. It is a chemical that was introduced about 1950, 1960. It's now used in all tires. There's about 1 to 3% of by weight, this chemical in every single tire on the face of the planet. what is this chemical for? Why did we introduce it? Well, it turns out when you use rubber tires on the road after a long time, that interacts with the sun and the atmosphere, the rubber starts to crack and your tires can explode. So that's not really very safe. So they found this chemical, 6-PPD, and it's basically a chemical that they bond with the tire rubber, but it doesn't bond very well with the tire rubber. It likes to react with the air and the atmosphere. And so instead of the atmosphere, the air and the atmosphere attacking the rubber, it attacks this chemical, 6-PPD, and then it forms this new chemical, 6-PPD quinone, and that just falls off your tires as tire dust. And this protects the rubber. It makes your tires last longer, makes sure that they don't crack and explode on you. So it's kind of important. It's a safety feature. You can't just take it out.
I know, but what happened when the fishes? Because sometimes with the fishermen and the algae, but this fish is contaminated.
Yeah. So in what we see with salmon, not all salmon species react to this chemical in the same way. So coho salmon, which is we also call that silver salmon. It's the salmon that we have mostly in this creek that we were studying. They are very, very susceptible to this chemical. They can have 90% mortality. But chum salmon, you can put as much of this chemical in the water as you want, it doesn't affect them. So there's differences between species. Even though they're both salmon, they're different. And so they react differently to different chemicals. What they found is that this chemical is actually kind of dissolving the barrier between your brain and the rest of your body so that there's leakage. So it's attacking your nervous system. So this is why the fish can't stay upright in the water. So anyway, we were doing this trip down the river and we were seeing all these tires in the river. We were seeing tires used on the banks to stabilize the banks. We call those tire revetment, tire bulkheads. They're not allowed anymore, but there's lots of old ones around. Tires everywhere, plus all this other old debris. So we created this project called the Salmon and Legacy Debris Project. And we started trying to tell people about this issue with the salmon, tire preservative used in tires, and used it as a way of doing big cleanups. So last summer we did 4 cleanups.
Wow.
Just in about a 6-mile stretch of the river, and we pulled out like 4 tons of debris. And we're going to do it again this summer. So we have some events coming up June and July that are all about cleaning up this section of the river.
I think, do you want any volunteers,
We do want volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah. Although it's really
this phone in the stream is correct.
No, that is just
Puget
Soundkeeper.org by itself.
And the website is the correct too?
Yeah, that's right. But
Okay.
that foundation federal law is something else.
And I put this phone, but I don't know if it's correct.
Yeah, just PugetSoundkeeper.org.
Okay.
Just PugetSoundkeeper.org.
Okay.
And we on our website is also published our hotline, so you can report pollution. That's 1-800. I think it's 1-800-42-PUGET.
Oh.
PUGET.
Yeah.
That'll get you to our hotline. So if you see pollution, you can report it to us, or we can let you know who to report it to. So we've got lots of activities as well. We do lots of cleanups all over we're doing a big cleanup in June. It's on our events page.
I think this is good time because a lot of students have vacation,
Yeah.
It's opportunity for volunteers.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and we work in coalition with lots of other groups, especially down here in the Duwamish Valley. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Anna, also I had the festival in the Duwamish River. You stay there?
Duwamish River Festival. Yeah, we will be there. We will be running the kayaks that day with the River Access Paddle Program. We'll be
also,
providing
Amigos de Seattle had the festival there, July 26th.
July 26th.
Yes, July 26th.
That's our event. That's our cleanup. That's the date of our cleanup.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's in the park in front of the river. It's the festival.
At
Duwamish is there
Duwamish
before.
People's Park?
The waterfront park.
Waterfront Park.
It's in the Rose and the 10th Avenue.
Yeah.
In South Park. Maybe I see there. The festival is 11 to 4 o'clock.
11 to 4 o'clock.
We have marimba.
And you remember,
You're
that's
welcome.
worth it alone.
It's free event for everybody, okay?
Yeah.
July 26th in South Park.
Yeah.
Festival Chapin. Chapin is the name to Guatemala people.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Uh-huh.
That is great.
Yep.
Well, we're doing a second trip on June 26th, which is actually a Thursday.
Really?
Yeah, we're tide dependent.
Oh.
The river, we have to go when the tide is low.
Okay,
So
okay.
the tides we have nice low tides during the day. But June 26th, we're doing a bring your own boat kayak cleanup on the
Wow.
upper Duwamish.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. It's really
Also,
fun.
Amigos de Seattle have another event. It's July 19th. It's the fundraiser of the Gala for Amigos de Seattle.
We will be there.
Oh, I appreciate
yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Anna, any more information about your organization?
Just that we are facing lots of uphill battles now, as is everyone, with the situation at the federal level. We're seeing we actually lost 2 of our staff due to federal cutbacks, and that affected young up and coming staff that we're just trying to gain skills. So we definitely need people's support, and almost all the organizations in Seattle and in the region, one of many. But check us out. We have lots of programs and
Thank you, Anna. Are you always welcome to Amigos de Seattle for any information about your project?
Great.
Thank you for the information. Thank you, everybody, for the connection, for your commentaries. And I will continue and when the music, Amigos de Seattle, and the website, www.adesradio.org. English.
Just say org.
I know. Thank you, org. Thank you, Anna.